Welcome to the 4th annual and the first ever Recovery Reinvented. Your presence matters. You are sharing your most precious gift today, your time, to join a community of people who understand the power of recovery to transform and save lives.
We have an amazing day ahead of us. Speakers including Dr. Drew and David Sheff, videos, awards, announcements, and resources that can help you and your loved ones on the road to recovery.
And of course, my favorite part of the entire year, and this is one of my favorite days of the year because it's a chance for all of us to hear from and spend the day with the most courageous First Lady in America, Kathryn Burgum.
With the current COVID-19 pandemic and the increasing behavioral health challenges people are facing, we know an event like this is more important now than ever. So today is a special day where we meet you wherever you are, at home or in the office, because there's so much to be grateful for, and it's a great day to celebrate the hope and the power of recovery.
One of the benefits of doing this virtually is it's your presence. We've had people signing up all the way through last night, and now we have over a record number of people joining us. 2,551 people from across North Dakota and around the world.
But even more important is the group of people joining us today in the studio. Yay!
I'm a little jealous. You may recognize some of our in-studio audience. Apparently, these folks have all the connections because I've seen them at the NBA Finals. I've seen them at the World Series.
NFL games.
And then here they are. They're
right here in our studio.
We're glad to see they're masked up and practicing. They're apparently not doing much social distancing over there, or physical distancing, but they're masked up.
So that's important.
That's good.
But really, we do have attendees from all across North Dakota, the Midwest, the West Coast to the East Coast, and a first. We even have an international presence in France, Germany, Ireland, and Thailand, just to name a few.
And with the time zone changes, because I would get up in the middle of the night to listen to you. So, matter of fact, I have before, but those people in Thailand right now are doing the same thing, apparently. But this just continues to show the importance of recovery, not just in our state, but the disease of addiction and the importance of recovery across the U.S. and across the world. And wherever you are, whether you're in a pickup or whether you're taking care of kids or whatever you're doing right now and you're listening in the background, thank you for joining us from wherever you are. Thanks for being part of this important community.
40% of the audience today is in recovery, seeking recovery, or a family member of someone directly impacted by addiction. The remainder is just as important. Law enforcement, corrections, behavioral health, faith-based, education, tribal, nonprofits, and businesses. If you are in recovery, we invite you to go to the recoveryreinvented.com website this morning and click the button to share your days, months, or years of recovery. We will take some time to celebrate later on this morning.
Yes. Whether it's 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, or decades, your recovery matters, so take time to share that today. Recovery Reinvented has always been about ending the shame and stigma that surrounds the disease of addiction. And as we do every year, we're building on that foundation and focusing on the relevant issues and topics that can help us build the strongest cultures of recovery in our state.
In addition to ending the stigma of addiction, we are focusing on 3 important areas for this year's Recovery Reinvented. Inspiring employers to create recovery-friendly workplaces, providing parents, friends, and family members with resources, support, and hope, and highlighting the connection between mental health, addiction, and adverse childhood experiences. We want to thank those who helped make today possible.
Right off the bat, we want to thank our very own state of North Dakota Department of Human Services. They're an amazing partner, and particularly the Behavioral Health Division, led by Pam Sagnas and her team, Laura, the whole group, amazing partners for Recovery Reinvented, because of course Recovery Reinvented is almost entirely funded by sponsors. And people like you and partners in the community, but the partnership between the Office of Recovery Reinvented, which is privately funded through donations, and the state of North Dakota has been a fantastic partnership, and we want to thank everybody in the Department of Human Services.
And I just have to say that Director Pam Sagnas and her team are so innovative, and they are really the envy of the nation in terms of the kinds of programs and initiatives that they come up with in our state to really meet people where they are and provide and build community support.
And we've got great partners that have been helping us, and they help us both financially, supporting the Office of Recovery Reinvented, and this event specifically, but they also support us by being great employers in our state. And two of our highest level sponsors at the Secaucus Wheel level are Sanford Health and Hess Corporation. Thank you both for your great support.
And then at the Theodore Roosevelt level of sponsorship, we have Forum Communications Company, Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Dakota, Shields, which is a new sponsor for us this year, and Livewire, who's doing all the audio visual experiencing and live streaming you're experiencing today. Yay, Livewire.
Thank you, Livewire team. At the Lewis and Clark level, the incredible Dakota Medical Foundation, led by Pat Trainer, and all the great work they do across behavioral health across the state. Casey Family Programs, a national foundation. Google, which is a new partner. We love having them being part of this part of the program and supporting. KX News, you'll see some of their great work later this morning in their efforts to eliminate stigma through storytelling.
Then we have the Zazula level. And on that level, we have Alltrue, Essential Health, Microsoft, OneOak, Alkermes, Bell Bank, Marathon Oil, the Offutt Family Foundation, Excel Energy, ConocoPhillips, which is also a new sponsor, and Cornerstone Bank.
We want to thank all of our sponsors, because without them, this wouldn't be possible.
So thank you so much, everyone who's helping us with what we're trying to accomplish today through this amazing event. We've come a long way since the first Recovery Reinvented in 2017, bringing conversations about addiction and recovery out into the light, working hard to normalize the conversation around the disease of addiction.
Since the first Recovery Reinvented, we've made the case for recovery. The numbers of people in our state and our nation that struggle with the disease of addiction, and the impact that this has on all of us, on our families, our communities, and our businesses, no one is untouched.
So many of you have joined me in sharing your story. Telling our stories and experiences is what has and will continue to be one of the ways we can reduce the shame and stigma and continue to focus on hope for recovery.
And the support and resources available for those struggled and challenged with the disease of addiction and those in recovery have increased in North Dakota, including the availability of peer support specialists, which we'll talk more about today.
We are also seeing change led by several communities across the state that have started recovery community organizations.
We've made so much progress in the last 3.5 years, and we'll be celebrating some of that today. But of course, we know that there is still room to grow and improve.
Our vision is that everyone who is struggling with the disease of addiction reaches out for help and is able to access that help without the added burden of feeling shame or stigma. We want all stories of recovery to be celebrated. This is something we can't stop talking about.
And we know now more than ever before that behavioral health and its relationship with addiction is something that impacts all of us. In a survey completed by the North Dakota Department of Commerce this year to measure the impact of COVID-19 in communities, we saw that during this time, the challenges around addiction and behavioral health increased substantially. Almost 68% of the respondents from those business communities responded that they experienced an increase in mental health struggles, including anxiety and depression. And nearly 1 in 5 adults during the pandemic has reported an increase in substance abuse since the pandemic began. Today, we'll continue to share stories, research, and information. The purpose that we have for the Team ND and our administration is to empower people, improve lives, and inspire success. And that's what today is all about.
And not only improving lives, but saving lives.
Today, we've got some goals for Recovery Reinvented that align with that vision.
By the end of the event today, we want to inspire you to open your hearts and minds by sharing powerful personal stories of the power of recovery.
And we have so many resources available in the state of North Dakota to support people with addiction and behavioral health. We want you leaving today, whether you're a business owner, someone who's in recovery, a family member, we want you to understand all the resources that we have available in the state to support you and your loved ones' journey to behavioral health and recovery.
And ultimately, we want you to soak up all this information and feel more confident in your ability to make change. And at the end of today, we will have some very specific challenges for you to take action.
We always want to lead with gratitude, and today we want to share our gratitude, of course, with all of you. Thank you for engaging and for learning and transforming your communities. North Dakota is such a special place. And we also want to share our gratitude with all of the North Dakota legislators who've been so supportive of investing more resources in behavioral health in North Dakota. And we want to be thankful for everybody in the K-12 community because we've made great progress in bringing behavioral health services into our K-12 schools to support our students across the state. And a lot of people have been behind those efforts, so we're grateful to all of you.
We're so grateful to all the speakers joining us today and joining us especially for this new experience virtually. We're working through technology and we're so looking forward to hearing them share their amazing expertise and passion for addiction and recovery.
And we're especially grateful for those who have the courage to share their stories, whether it's a success of recovery, whether this is a relapsing disease and being open and honest about the challenges of that, but really sharing their collective wisdom to help everybody in the community understand this disease and the effort and what it takes, and it takes all of us to work through to get it through together. In sharing our gratitude, we become part of something bigger than ourselves. William Faulkner, the famous American author, once said, gratitude has a quality similar to electricity. It must be produced and then discharged and used up in order to exist at all.
We would love you to join us in this practice of gratitude. Cultivating a practice of gratitude helps build our mental health and our resilience.
So we've got a challenge for you right now, because we know that while you're tuning in and listening, that means you're probably next to some kind of device, and many of you are multitasking, so you might have a computer in front of you and you've got your smartphone in your hand. But we challenge you right now as we're kicking this thing off, or at some point during today, if you want to just not be on your mobile device, just write a note to yourself. But the challenge we have for you is, before today is over, send a text, send an email, write a personal note to a friend, a family member, and a coworker, and share with them something you're grateful for, and especially if it's someone who's helped you on your journey of recovery, or if it's somebody that is helping you in some other way. So like electricity, produce that piece of gratitude and then send it out to the world, and do it before the sun goes down tonight.